Hi, so today I want to talk about the elephant ear, specifically the larger one, but I think that it also applies for the pygmy elephant ears. So here you go. This is my favorite elephant ear. I call him Dumbo. But you can see he's got some beautiful large leaves, and believe it or not, these are actually small compared to how big they used to be. We had to bring all our plants in during Dorian, but you can see one leaf is a lot bigger than my hand, right? And these plants are really great here in South Florida. They just grow like crazy. I have it in a relatively small pot, um, which doesn't really do it any favors. It really needs to be repotted, but um, yeah, it just grew too big too fast. So what's really neat about these is you can actually see over here, it's got like a little itty bitty leaf growing out of it. So elephant ears in general are going to start putting out more little elephant ears on the bottom, like this one as well. See, this is a pygmy elephant ear, and it has a little plant growing out the bottom again, which makes them really easy to propagate because at least every time that I've separated them, those little plants have their own root systems as well. So if you want to separate them, you just have to take the plant out of the pot and cut it right between the two there and make sure that the small one has enough roots to take root. For example, both these little elephant ears, um, they started out like that, like that little one you see right there. And I just cut it off. I stuck it with making sure that it had some root available, and I planted them. And look, they're doing great. Same thing applies for these large ones, right? Now again, these are tropical plants, so I don't think you can grow them above zone 10 actually. So these really only grow well in the warmest parts of the continental United States, right? You really have to be like in South Florida or maybe the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, possibly also like some parts of the Pacific Coast, because they really just don't like freezing temperatures. Now, like any plant that with these huge leaves, it does need light to survive, but you probably don't want to stick it like in the full sun. Um, in the winter, it's probably fine, but in the summer, it's just too much for it, and it's going to damage the leaves. These do well overall, anyway. They are just pretty much immortal. um, but yeah, something that's really cool about these, you can see this one, it's actually flowering. I've noticed they tend to flower when they're a little bit stressed. So this one is just, it's in too small of a pot. My thought is that once I repot it, it's not going to flower quite as often, but it'll start growing leaves again very soon. And right now it's growing leaves, so it's not too much of a problem, but I would like it to have those larger leaves. What's really cool about these is the way they grow leaves. You can take a look here. This is a brand new leaf, right? This one, this guy right here. And the way you can tell is that it is the closest in, and it doesn't have these openings where the other leaves come from. So all the leaves sprout from these openings. And here you can see the new leaf developing on the youngest leaf. So what's going to happen is this is eventually going to poke out and just start spiraling out, and eventually it grows up and up and up and up until you get that beautiful big leaf. Now I really like these plants because they're extremely non-fussy to have outdoors in particular. They just do really well with high humidity, high temperatures, and speckled light. They're not canopy trees, so they really don't need very strong direct light in order to thrive. I mean, look at this. It's huge. It's gorgeous. Other things to keep in mind is obviously, they have very well developed root systems, so you don't want them just sitting in water pretty much like any tropical plant. You know, you want to water them when it's dry about an inch deep. So this one is these are all still moist, so I don't really need to water them today. But yeah, the trick with elephant ears is that if you keep them in the right climate, they grow so big so fast that you need to be able to repot them, or if anything, you need to be able to stick them in the ground. Otherwise, you're going to end up with something looking kind of like this guy with smaller leaves. That's just not growing as fast. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of elephant ears. Let me know what you think. If you get some elephant ears, or if you want some advice on where to get elephant ears, I'll be more than glad to. Even if you're in South Florida, let me know. I might have an extra one I can just give you. I've got a ton of them. So, anyway, let me know what you think, and I hope to talk to you guys again soon. Bye.